Hello, everyone. Welcome to the horror show. I am Cecil Laird.
I'm Marcia Barker with a really bad accent.
And I am Jaime en Fuego.
That's part of why I did the accent, so Marcia would try. Guys, what's up? We're here to do a review of the first season of What We Do in the Shadows. And this was, we did trailer reactions to it, and we were like, okay, it looks funny, but I was still skeptical. Could it work on a regular basis? The movie was so brilliant, so well done. Luckily, the same people that made the movie were involved in the making of the series, and not only that, but actually appear in one of the episodes. And I gotta say, I had so much fun with this series. Going into our overall thoughts, I really adored it. I think it's a brilliant extension of the movie because it's not a sequel, it's not a remake, it's just an extension of the universe.
Right.
And I dug the hell out of that, being a big continuity freak, big comic book fan, big, Marvel Cinematic Universe sort of idea, or as one of us might go back and say, the Jersey Trilogy universe. So I really dug What We Do in the Shadows. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was really spot on from the movie. They were able to take the same comedic aspects and the same feel and the look and from the set design to the ridiculousness that you're seeing and the funny when they try to fly or they turn into bats.
Bat! They always have to call it out.
Right. It's great, and we see new characters, and they fit organically together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel like anybody doesn't belong there. So it was really good, and just the development of the story. It wasn't just like, okay, we're gonna just keep hitting the same beats. It was really fresh and new, and it did expand. So I really appreciated it.
Yeah, it did just grow this world and make it bigger and funnier and more compelling, and also learning about other varieties of vampires, I suppose, was
best.
Definitely one of the funniest things.
Oh my god, the emotional vampire was the best thing.
Oh my god, that was brilliant.
And there's a parade of all kinds of awesome guests that we get in various episodes, and really, I don't think that you would have some of the people who came on, like a Nick Kroll and some of these others, if not for the fact that Taika and Jermaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords were both still heavily involved and directed most of the episodes. They kind of switched off, and there's another person or two who handled like one or two, but I know Jermaine did quite a few of the episodes, and Taika did at least two, if I'm not mistaken, including the most talked about of the entire season, where it is cameos galore. But this was such a satisfying show. So.
When I watched that, you guys had already watched it, so I messaged the group. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so good!" And you guys were like, "Yeah, bitch, we already watched it." But I was so floored at how cool it was. Almost literally, the Dark All Day. Music video crossover.
Yeah. Let's just put everything vampire related we can get our hands upon as far as cameo people go.
But so okay, we all liked it. Now let's dive into the story. Just briefly, it's a group of vampires that were sent to the New World, America, in order to take it over. But they just established lives for themselves, and only during this first season, when one of their bosses is coming to check on them, do they realize that they need to perhaps start to try and take over America. And it is just so funny. But this time, it was all men, right, in the movie?
Yeah.
And so they added a female vampire.
It was brilliant.
I thought it made such a big difference. And her obsession with Gregor was so funny to me. Like,
no, he calls himself Jafe.
Yeah,
he's just Jafe.
But they also added the familiar that was there all the time.
Yep.
And his story, they made they made him. Catton is deciding to mess up everything because he likes to do that. He's so big now.
That's what she said.
Nonetheless, what were we saying?
The familiar.
Oh the familiar who is itching to be brought into the vampire fold, and his master, who is really funny in and of himself. He's kind of the more slapsticky one, where he's like, Guillermo, kill this man, and stuff like that. Like, But he's so funny though.
Yeah.
And even the big boss man was really a funny character.
Yeah.
He was played by Doug. Oh goodness, the guy that we interviewed, or at least Doug Jones. Yes, correct.
Doug Jones played him?
That was Doug Jones. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The Baron?
The big, tall, skinny Baron guy.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
That's
it's Doug
hilarious.
Jones,
Oh man, did he do the voice too?
I'm not sure if he did the voice.
I need
or
to.
not.
I need to look
curious
into
about
that. That's hilarious.
Just
I had
the
no idea that was
the
Doug.
episode they hit the town with him, man. It's just
Oh,
like
so funny.
Yeah.
And the way they resolved it was hilarious too. It was so What We Do in the Shadows. Like What We Do in
Very
the
much
Shadows is kind of its own horror thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you see something like it, you're gonna be like, oh, that's very What We Do in the Shadows
Yeah.
And I think that's brilliant. They've established themselves as their own unique brand within the horror genre, and I think that this just accentuates it. And the acting plays into all of it. I mean, they're all hilarious.
It kind of reminds me of Best in Show, but for horror.
That's not a bad comparison.
You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
since I'm a big fan of all the stuff that that guy's done, from Waiting for Guffman to Spinal Tap to very much the same vibe of that, with just the whole mockumentary aspect and the fact that you can tell they're ad-libbing a lot of stuff, and so really fun.
And then the effects, I mean, there's some gore effects, but it's really played more for laughs. And then the CG is actually not bad. Like
TV,
when they turn into bats and turn back into humans, it's like, oh, okay, it's realistic enough. You
Yeah, sometimes they turn into creatures that weren't quite bats.
know? Yeah, and like newborn vampires that don't necessarily go well. It's such a funny show, you guys. If you liked the movie, definitely make time to watch the show. Where did we watch it? It was available on
Netflix,
it's on
Or
Hulu right now.
Hulu, okay.
Yeah, because it's an FX program, and the second season is coming in early 2020. They
Oh,
don't have
wow.
like a premiere date
sweet.
just yet, but
Okay.
it's right around the corner that we will get to learn more
I
of this
just wanna rewatch it
mythology.
now.
I do too. It's so funny, and the nice thing is they're half-hour episodes.
Yeah.
So they go by really fast.
Yeah.
I think it's 10, so it's 5 hours total.
It's a quick,
you're in, you're
fun
out,
binge.
and
Yeah.
it is a seriously fun binge. Oh, I briefly mentioned it, but I got to talk about the emotional vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the
yeah.
big ad
And-
for the series.
And when he meets his match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's oh my god, she
Oh,
was
that's
hilarious
so good.
from SNL, no
Yeah.
less.
Yeah.
But he was so funny because he's just the guy that will go into a room and just bore everyone because he can feed off of their bored energy, and like he's draining their life.
He's sucking the energy out of them by being so boring.
He's the guy at the cube farm going
Right.
up to everyone, and he like sees someone come in happy, and he like goes over to them to try and bring them down.
And the fact that
every
he
time he
even-
walks away, he's like,
Yeah.
it's so funny, dude.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, like, especially working, like, for somebody who has worked in cubicle situations and just being in an office environment where there's always that one person, you're like, dang it.
They gave him a reason
You're
for
right.
existing.
Cheryl's at the water cooler again, and I'm thirsty. Do I risk it? You know, like,
Can I avoid Cheryl?
man, it was
it's
so
great.
great, though. It hit, oh, man, it hit my heart. I was like, this is great.
So yeah, any final thoughts on it?
I just love what these guys are doing, and the fact that there's still that Wellington PD show, which is
Yeah, that's
only
supposed
in
to be
New
funny, too.
Zealand, and I don't know when it's going to come over here, but I've heard great things about that one too.
It gives
so they're
such
really,
Reno 911 vibes, but via What We Do in the Shadows kind
Right.
of thing.
and
so.
they're still talking about a Swearwolves spin-off movie. They're still talking
Yeah.
about a proper sequel film to the original. I mean,
Reese
they are
Darby is
really-
hilarious. I would love to see him come back. Although he's now big, he's been
he's
the
in the
show is
Jumanji
over. Yeah,
movies,
he's in
right?
the Jumanji movies.
Yeah.
He's the guy to the new Jumanji movies. So
Those have made so much money.
I know.
It's crazy.
But yeah, I think that's going to do it for our review of the first season of What We Do in the Shadows. If you guys have watched it, let us know in the comments down below what you think of it. Are you enjoying it as much as we are? Or could you not get into it? I'd be curious if there are any of you like that. I'm not sure there's going to be, because it's the same talent and it feels the same, and it's just, it's
Some
expanded
people don't
you.
like that kind of humor, though.
No,
like,
that's true. That's true.
you
If they
know.
didn't like the movie, they might not like this
Yeah.
either.
Well,
so.
if they didn't like the movie, they
definitely
definitely will
won't
not.
like this show.
They will
Fair.
not
Yeah.
like
Fair,
this,
fair,
but-
fair.
Yeah.
So why don't you guys let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Marsh Burger.
And gracias to all our patrons. I've been Jaime and Fuego.
And remember,
Stay
stay scared.
scared.
Guillermo, the virgins taste so sad.